X-Rays from Creeping Death, and you're watching Agents of Rage. Oh, yeah.
So it's fitting that we have a little death metal representation to open this episode of Agents of Rage, because there is death metal in this show. It's quite a cornucopia of metal we've got tonight, with some extreme death metal and some more traditional death metal. We've got, of course, thrash metal in this particular episode. So we're excited to get this thing going. My name is Ren. I live in Detroit, and I am someone who goes to as many shows as I possibly can. This is TD, and he lives in the Bay Area of California. He gets to go to shows there. In fact, went to one last night, which we'll just allude to here in a bit. And basically, we are just two guys who love metal, and this is Agents of Rage. And welcome. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. Went to see Pentagram in Berkeley last night, and Dusted Angel open up, and those guys blew through their sets. I mean, boom, 2 hours, 2 bands done, and Pentagram
clean and efficient.
Totally.
I mean, hey,
got it done. Let's go. And
hey,
Pentagram had the biggest merch booth for one band I've ever seen in my life, and I know we'll talk about that in another episode. It was insane.
Exactly. Yeah. So we will have a Pentagram episode when I get a chance to see them coming up in a month or so. And I'll be able to talk about my experience. TV will talk about his experience. Of course, we'll talk about the merch experience, because what we want to do here each and every week is basically just kind of let you know what the live experience is all about. That is what metal truly means. It's about getting out and seeing the bands. Now, one of the things that we do at the top of every show is give our story of the shirt. And we have got TD, who is wearing something very appropriate for this episode.
Well, I started because it's a little bit nippy here with my Exodus hoodie, and then got my Pentagram tour shirt.
Yeah, man.
With all the tour dates in the back. And I took a quick peek, and it looks like they'll be hitting your hood into May.
All right.
And you'll have something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll still be reeling from Sonic Temple, I'm sure. Still recuperating from that, which is coming up in a month, which TD and I will both be at together. And we'll give you the lowdown on what that experience was like in a future episode. But the bottom line is that, we love to support the band, so we want to make sure that we buy merch at the shows. We talk about merch and what that experience was like as well, because it's so pivotal, for metal fans. I've got Tribal Gaze, so bought the long sleeve from those guys. They were a band that before I saw them, I didn't know a lot about, so I did some listening to, quite a bit of their music before the show, and they were amazing. So I'm excited that, we get to show a little bit about some of the, bands that are on the rise, such as Tribal Gaze. But we'll get them later in the show. The first we want to talk about is, unless you've been living under a rock, you understand that Steve Zetro Souza is no longer with Exodus. So he had a few stints with the band, but it basically came down last year that he was out. Rob Dukes was back in, who was his replacement back in like 2004, and did about a 10-year run with Exodus. And so Zetro is basically still out there a little bit. So TD was very fortunate to, get a chance to check out a solo hometown concert at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. That was Monday, January 26th. And this show marked the solo band's Bay Area debut, featured a specialized set list focusing on thrash metal history and some of the details. Zetro performed old school Exodus deep cuts, which we're going to play one for you here coming up in just a bit, that are rarely played live. In fact, the one we're going to show, I have never heard live before, by Exodus, along with songs from Legacy. And Legacy is such an interesting, forefather in the thrash metal scene. Steve Zetro Souza was a member of Testament before they were Testament. And, Paul Bailoff was with Exodus, so he was there. And we had a scenario where, Zetro could have been the Testament lead singer moving forward and with that band. That did not happen. Obviously, we know what has happened. And he joined Exodus, but he did some legacy content, which is fantastic. In fact, TD gave me like this CD with, bootleg tracks of, legacy from back in the day. And I love it. I would play it in my car quite frequently. My new car actually doesn't have a CD player, unfortunately, but I'd be rocking that thing. But it's cool, So again, this was one of these things that just does not happen very often. TD had an opportunity to check it out. So let's talk about it, man. Talk about, what we like to do here on Agents of Rage is we want to talk about the entire experience. So let's talk about the venue first for those who aren't familiar with the, Great American Music Hall.
Yeah, it's a probably, like, I would describe it as like a second tier sized venue in San Francisco. It's right on the edge of the Tenderloin, which, if you're not familiar with what that is, that's the sketchy area of San Francisco. So it's quite entertaining when the sun goes down. So that's part of the experience, but it's easy to get to. Just jump on BART, head up, Market Street, up Van Ness, and
it's a cool place to see a show.
It's a very cool place to see a show. There's really not a bad spot in the entire venue, and it's a great spot. They actually had some seats this time, which was nice, to rest my old back, and so I did that a little bit. But yeah, it was a great show. Phantom Witch, a big, a popular local thrash band, opened up, and then Zetro came out with his band, and like you said, he played what I would call a lot of deep cuts, and a couple he mentioned that he'd never played live, I believe, is what he said, and so
wow.
It was a good show. Yeah, he sounded good. The band was solid, and yeah, it was a great night. I actually bought some of the Zetro's hot sauce.
Yeah. So what was the merch situation like?
So he had he had one shirt, the Zetro tour shirt, and then he had hot sauce.
And you got me one, which I appreciate.
Yep. And he's got some patches. Zetro's Toxic Vault. Was
it like a long line?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, not really.
All right. Well, that's good. So you had a good merch experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, we want to say that. We want to say, when it's troublesome, which I talked about, kind of like at the Slayer show in the last episode. But we want to talk about when it's a good experience, And
the Great American Music Hall can be tricky sometimes, where they set up the merch. It doesn't allow for a long line. It gets a little bit kind of chaotic, but it wasn't too bad that night. So yeah, it worked out good. So it was great. Super cool to hear those songs. I know all the songs, right? I've heard them for as long as they've been out, but to hear them live was pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Because who knows if he'll ever do another show like that,
Look, man, I know there will be people who will say that the voice of thrash overall, when you think about its entire history, Zetro is one of those guys that just kind of fits that, top spot almost. You know what I mean? It's so recognizable. It's not, it's so uniquely him that it defined, the genre for a long time. So, I just love listening to him, and he's got actually quite a bit of range,
Mm-hmm.
You have a connection to him.
I do. So coincidentally enough, my oldest daughter's fiance is his stepson. And so he actually gave me this hoodie for Christmas, and so yeah, and he's now making he's Portuguese. He's now making Portuguese sausage as one of his new ventures. And so I haven't tried that yet. I told my daughter to give me a couple packs, and along with some more hot sauce, because I burned through his hot sauce. And his hot sauce is good. If you can't handle hot, you probably won't like it, because when it's actually is hot, but really good flavor. So he's kind of doing the entrepreneur thing, and yeah, good to see him having some success with after the band.
What's that behind you, bro? What's that banner?
Actually,
lean.
It's Attica 7, which was it's Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard singing the band.
Okay.
And Rusty Coons, who if you watch Sons of Anarchy, was on that show.
That show is probably my number one show of all time.
Top 5 for sure for me.
Yeah,
100%.
I can make an argument that it's number 1.
Yeah, and so Rusty Coons played bass in that band, and he was the biggest.
What character was he on Sons of Anarchy?
He was a long-haired guy. Came on later later on in the series, but he was the biggest guy. I mean, I can stand next to him, and I look small.
I'm sure I'd recognize him.
He's got to be about 6 foot. I would say he's about 6'7", maybe.
Wow. Yeah. That's a big dude.
I think he's an actual former biker from LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you saw him, you know him. And he played bass and a couple other guys in the band. I don't know if they maybe did one album or something, but got a picture with Evan Seinfeld and Rusty at it might have been there was those 2 festivals going on back in the day. I've drawn a blank on. One was definite thrash. The other one was a little bit more new metal. And anyway, they were there at a booth, and I got some photos, but I had to buy the cool
man
flag.
No, that's cool. Zetro, his band was, a lot of the guys are from a band called Slick Wicked, who were the guys. Yeah, those were the guys that were backing him up at your particular show. And, it's pretty awesome that you got a chance to see that. I hope that he tours, and does does a show out here. I mean, the last time that I saw him was at the Machine Shop a couple years ago with Exodus, and I got some great video, and I've shared it on the YouTube channel in shorts. And those are some of the most watched videos, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And people are still commenting on it today, which is cool. And I mean, I had a great vantage point. I was right up front. It was a cool video. So just before we get to the clip, real quick, the crowd, like the pit, was it wild? What was it like?
The crowd, I find as time goes on, the audience, the percentage of the audience tends to match the age of the band.
Right.
And so you've got to have a combination of young people, from Fan of Witch, and you got the old school, all the old school people from the Exodus era. So you had kind of that was kind of the 2 scenes going on there.
I think we're seeing that across the board, and I'll talk about that a little when I talk about the Cattle Decapitation show, which is coming up in just a bit. So just so you guys know real quick what's coming up on this episode, I should have said it earlier, but we're going to review quickly the Zetro show, which we're doing right now, and the Cattle Decapitation show I saw on December 7th in Detroit, and all the bands that were playing there. So we're going to show you some clips. And speaking of clips, we'll get to this one right now. And this is Zetro doing Seeds of Hate by Exodus. So, this was a foundational metal track. I've never heard it live personally by Exodus, but it's the 8th song on their second album, which of course was Pleasures of the Flesh. in 1987. And so this is something that it's great that we get a chance to hear this music recycled. And of course, the man who sang it at the forefront. So let's check out a little bit of Zetro. So there you go. A little bit of Zetro at the Great American Music Hall. And so I hope he tours some more. We're looking forward to it, but we wish him the best, and let's get him on the show, TD.
Yes, that's on my to-do list. Yes, top priority for sure.
I'm working on
great to hear some stories. Share some stories with us,
dude. I mean, it would be a great conversation and a great way to kick off if we can get more bands to come on. We just haven't done that yet, and I know they would be amped to do it. And I'm working on another big one, a thrash legend. So we'll see how that plays out. So, all right. So let's get into the Cattle Decapitation show I saw on December 7th, 2025. This was a tour that featured Aborted, Frozen Soul, and Tribal Gaze. They called it the No Fear for Tomorrow North American Tour. And this was one that didn't run really long. And a lot of bands will do this. So it was just basically a little over a month. So November 16th to December 20th was this particular tour. And it was unique because Cattle Decapitation was performing their entire 2019 album, Death Atlas. So they performed that album in its entirety, and they had some special things at the merch area if you wanted it, like special CDs that they made and things like that regarding that album. Now, this show was at St. Andrews Hall, which if you've been to Detroit and you know St. Andrews Hall, it's a legendary place. It's a great place to see a show, kind of just a column, and then balcony, around it. And very intimate, no matter where you are, even in the back of the hall, you still have a great view of the band. So it's perfectly sized, and it's great to get crazy in, which you can imagine this particular show was crazy. And overall, I would say the show was amazing. Tribal Gaze, again, I was just getting familiar with. Got to hear them live. They're amazing. We're going to check them out in a second. All the bands were really good and brought a different energy and vibe, for that particular night. And so everybody just kind of got a little bit of everything they wanted. And it was interesting, as you mentioned, of course, you've got the old geezers, that are there. They're there no matter what. They're, diehards, metal for life. And obviously Cattle Decapitation has been around a long time. So, they are going to draw a crowd. But we had a lot of young people. I talked to this one guy in particular. I can't remember his name. And it's not even important because we were just talking. It was his first metal experience, period. And I'm like, geez, man, you're in for a wild night. And he had a great time. He was getting in the pit. The pit was pretty good overall. Some songs, some bands just happened to go a little crazy. Some didn't do enough. I think one of the things I'm noticing is that, they're just very tame compared to where they used to be.
Yeah.
But I do have a sidebar, and that is the Destruction, Testament, and Overkill show was insane. And I got my clock cleaned. I mean, just blasted into the next universe by this huge guy. But that's for another show, and we'll talk about that later. So let's get into the show itself and some clips here real quick. So Tribal Gaze was the first band. They're a death metal band from Longview, Texas, formed in 2020. So they're new, just getting out there, part of what they call the new wave of old school death metal. But distinguish themselves by blending massive, chugging riffs with heavy hardcore and slam influences. So that's kind of what the band's essence is. We're going to hear a little bit from a song called Irreversible Sequence. And this is a track that is on their sophomore album, which just came out last year in October. And it's one of the shortest songs, actually. We're only going to hear, a bit of it. But at 1:45, it's, one of the most aggressive, but one of the most shortest on that particular thing. So, again, a really cool band. And let's check them out. All right, so there you go. A little Tribal Gaze. And again, I love the shirt.
Cool shirt.
I'll tell you quickly about the merch experience. It was wonderful. The great thing about St. Andrews is they have a quote unquote basement that's called the Shelter. And the Shelter is actually world famous because that is where Eminem would have those rap battle things like you saw in the movie 8 Mile. If you saw that movie, the rap battle that he has, that's at the Shelter. So that's the basement of St. Andrews Hall. I saw Sanctuary there along with Iced Earth back in 2017, which was amazing. Not too many shows, that I really want to go to end up there because that's a really small room. But perfect for merch. So they have the merch all set up and the tables all set up for each artist, and it's a nice big space. So it's just great. It's just a wonderful experience. You're going to get, whatever you want. I don't remember anything being sold out that I wanted to get. I've got Tribal Gaze. I got a Cattle Decapitation hat, which I'm wearing right now. And I got a Frozen Soul shirt as well. So I went crazy,
Nice.
At that. But it was great. I got to talk to the bands, and they're all fantastic. So let's transfer into Frozen Soul. Frozen Soul is a band that I have really loved over the last couple of years. And if you love, death metal, they are from Fort Worth, Texas. So like Creeping Death at the start of the show, which you heard in the intro, they are from Texas. This band is from Texas. There's a lot of great death metal coming out of Texas. So they are known for, what they call cold school death metal. Frozen Soul, right? So cold school. So a lot of their songs, emanate, ice and freezing and cold and suffering, that kind of stuff. So
Well, weather sucks.
yeah, exactly. And they pay homage, like as far as influences, to pioneers like Bolt Thrower, Obituary, and Mortician. So that's who they consider their influences. And they're really cool. We're going to listen to a song real quick here called Arsenal of War, which is a standout track from their second album. And that was from 2023. And it's deeply personal, actually, to the vocalist, Chad Green, because it serves as a major centerpiece of their live performances, because it's a dedicated tribute to his late brother, Corey Green. So pretty cool. I didn't know that at the time I was recording it, but I liked the song a lot. So let's go ahead and check out Frozen Soul. So you get the fact that it was some serious death metal going on that
Oh yeah.
night. You know what I mean? It was crazy, bro. Um, all right, so let's jump into Aborted. So if you are unfamiliar with the band Aborted, they are from Belgium. So interesting, they joined this tour. You know, they are a influential in a lot of circles. You know, they were formed in 1995.
Wow.
So they've been around a long time, and definitely, you know, were recognized in Europe as huge. But I think, you know, maybe some of us are just not, you know, used to who they are. So it's great when they tour with a band like Cattle Decapitation, because that's already going to draw a great crowd and people are going to get a chance to recognize you. But they are one of Belgium's most successful metal exports. And it's it's a technical sound. They call it death grind. And it is all that and a bag of chips. It is seriously crazy. The song we're going to hear is called The Saw and the Carnage Done. And this is one of their most iconic tracks, which really, you know, was the opening song and the breakthrough hit for them on their 2003 album. I think it was called Gormageddon. And it's widely credited with establishing Aborted as a major force in the global death metal scene, which death metal is as global as anything. So without further ado, let's check out a little bit of Aborted. Prepare yourselves. I have no idea a word that he said the entire night.
It sounded good.
But, you know, I'll tell you what, man, those guys are committed, you know, and it was wild, man. And I remember talking to the kid, you know, that was experiencing his first show, you know, after Aborted. And he was just like, I'm blown away. You know, like you can't prepare yourself for the sonic blast that
Yeah.
you are going to experience if you've never been to it before. It's one thing to go to a, you know, a rock show. It's another thing to go to a death metal show. But it was great, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. And I think we're going to see a lot more of our youth embracing, you know, whether it's death metal, thrash metal, you know, whatever. I think that we're going to see a lot more of our youth carrying the mantle, and we need that. We need that. And I'm seeing more of them. I don't know about you. Are you seeing more of them at your shows?
You know, I was thinking about as you're talking, and I had this great idea, which I wish I had last night. So there's a guy standing in front of me with his kid, and his kid's got really long hair, and I would guess he's maybe 12 years old. Dad's got long hair and all these tattoos, and I thought, you know, next time I'm going to ask him, you know, about, you know, introducing his, you know, his son to metal. And then, you know, talked about the show and see if they would, you know, want to do a shout out for us, because that's the next generation standing right in front of me. And he gave me a good idea, but it was pretty cool. So yeah, him and his kid were watching Pentagram with us. And so yeah, next time I'm gonna ask, you know, just say hi and introduce myself, and you know,
Cool,
see
bro.
what's up. But there was so
Love that.
we went to I don't think I talked about this last time, but we went to see Onslaught and Warlord. There's a band called Slackjaw there.
Right.
You ever heard of Slackjaw?
I have not.
Okay, apparently we were
You
in the
talked
dark.
to them. You talked about them. I have not heard of them.
Crazy. Their merch line was 10 times longer than anyone else's.
Yeah.
All young kids. So, there's a good mix of generations. And I think that's where the Danny Wimmer Presents helps out, where they combine all the age genres with the music genres and
bro,
put everyone together.
I'll credit the Slayer show and the people who organized that event at Hershey Park for putting Knock Loose on the bill. I mean, you had, Exodus, Cavalera, Power Trip, Suicidal Tendencies, and then they throw Knock Loose into the mix before Slayer, right before Slayer, kind of featuring them as almost a co-headline. But the young people love that band.
Yeah.
So they are going to go out of their way to go see them. I mean, they have a fascination, I'm sure, about Slayer, what they're all about. So well, let's go, because we're going to see them too. But that's very smart that you bring in kind of this kind of new group of, metal bands and mix that in, like the festival we're going to go to, which we'll talk about here in a sec. We're going to talk about our favorite day. What's our favorite day for Sonic Temple? What are we most looking forward to as far as a day's band's experience? We're going to talk about that just in a little bit. But yeah, man, I think it's great. And I want to see more of it. And I'm seeing more of it every single time. And I love it. So keep it up, boys. All right. And girls too. I will say there are a lot of younger females, that range, I'm sure, anywhere from 16 to, 25 that are coming to these events and really rocking out and loving it. So, hey, I think it's moving across the board. All right. So let's get to Cattle Decapitation, the headline event at the show at St. Andrews. So they are an American extreme metal band. They're from San Diego, California, which is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Huh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. What I didn't realize also is they were formed in 1996. So they've been around a long time. And this is a band that started as kind of they called it a vegetarian gore grind project.
Right. Yeah.
Which is interesting. But they've evolved, and they really have, into one of the most, respected and, technically proficient, progressive death grind bands that's out there right now. So obviously they're headlining a tour. This was a short tour, but I'm sure everywhere they went, they were packed. And listen to a song. So what they did, again, they'd never done this before, is performed the album Death Atlas. So they did that in its entirety, and then did a couple other, their hits. But the song we're going to listen to real quick is called Absolute Destitute. And that is the 8th track on their 2019 concept album, Death Atlas, which is what we just referenced, known for intense atmosphere and for being a prime example of the band's progressive death grind style. So, there you go. The official mascot of the agency.
He approves.
Yeah, you heard in the background. But anyway, real wild and all kinds of crazy themes in this. So let's just check out a little bit of Cattle Decapitation. So just a night of pure evil is what took place at St. Andrews. It was a great show. We had a great time. The pit was good. It was overall just a great experience, and it was really cool to see all those bands. So highly recommend, Cattle Decapitation, whatever incarnation. I'd seen them one time before with a monomarth at the local Fillmore here in Detroit. And but it was cool to see them headline something. And you know what? It's always great when these bands are doing this now more than ever. Death Angel doing it right now with Act 3. We had Bonded by Blood by Exodus for the 40th anniversary, doing that whole album. And so these bands coming out and doing whole albums, that's when you get the deep cuts. And it's awesome.
Well, guess who else is doing the 40th anniversary show in LA?
I know.
We're going.
I know.
Road trip, baby.
So he's talking about Slayer, Rain and Blood. They plan on doing the entire album in LA in a show in, what was it, November?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And of course, the Zack Attack is applying all the pressure right now. And I don't have an excuse because he flew out to Pennsylvania to see the Slayer show there. So and for me, it was just a quick 1-hour flight. It would be only apropos that I come back to Los Angeles, my home, and
where all began.
Check that out. So yeah, dude, I'm seriously considering that. No question about it. One thing that is happening in less than a month is the Sonic Temple Festival. And we're going to end the show this week talking quickly about what is our favorite day. So for you, TD, what is the day you are most looking forward to at Sonic Temple?
Well, I wanted to look it up and double check, but I got to go with Saturday because we've got Body Count, Sepultura, Creator, Carcass, Biohazard, Snot, CKY, and Butcher Babies.
And that's just one stage.
Yeah, just that one stage. And there's some other good ones mixed in there the rest of the day. But I think that's that. And, Sundays is pretty good with the Megadeth stage as well, of course.
Yeah. That's where I was going to go. I was going to go with Sunday just because, you're getting Spirit World early in the day, who I have not seen. I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Suicidal Tendencies right after that. That's always a great time. Black Label Society, Amon Amarth, Lamb of God, Public Enemy, Bloody Wood, who I want to check out for sure.
Definitely.
Devil Driver, Megadeth. And then you've got, Tool on the main stage, and you've got Death Clock and Dragon Force, on the other side.
Yeah.
Usually Sundays are the worst days. And I'm just surprised that, it's one of the best days. So overall, we're going to have a great time, and, we're going to have individual, highlights from each day, because you never know what you're going to get at the end of the day. So we could have some days surprise us Thursday or Friday, but looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm 3 weeks from yesterday.
Right. Well, there you go.
Coming up.
I know. We want to end the show talking a little bit about our socials. So what's happening on the socials on your side?
Well, that suicidal reel it just resonated big time. At the time we were recording today, it was about 7,500 views already.
Wow. And
it was crazy. It's by far and away, so we get, prior to our recent, kind of marketing thing we've been doing, we would get we might hit 300-400. I think we hit 1,000 once, but the last week is just blown up from people friending us from all over the country and the world, commenting. It's crazy. It's been really cool, So we are up to about almost 460 on Instagram, and Facebook, about 3,500, close to 3,500 followers. And it's just been fun. It's fun to go on there and see the reactions we get, the comments, because we're just a couple guys having fun with it, and to see the other people enjoy it as well. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I agree. So I run the YouTube channel, which of course is where you see this episode, and now we're working in how we're promoting, like with clips and things like that, and trying to push people back to, watch the actual episode of the show, because our view counts are generally low, but I think they will grow over time, and I feel confident. And since the last show debuted 11 days ago, now one of the things that I try to do every single day is put a short up of a band that I've seen fairly recently, and I've been putting all kinds up over the last 2 weeks. So our channel has got almost 10,000 views. That was 11 days ago. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's pretty good. We gained 9 subscribers.
Nice.
So we're over 300 now, which is fantastic. Wow. The Lamb of God Laid to Rest short that I put up on April 12th has the most views in the last 11 days, with about 1,389 at the time of this recording. So
nice.
Yeah. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, follow us, subscribe, like, share, especially when you share, because then it allows people to discover us who, normally maybe would not, unless something was shared with them. So on any platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, it's great for us. And who knows, maybe this will resonate, with someone. So the bottom line is, we love doing this, and it's not about making money or any of that stuff. We just want to share our live experiences. And we got a lot more. I've been to so many shows we haven't even talked about.
Oh yeah.
So we are going to keep getting into this. And of course we'll have, in fact, what we'll do is our next show, TD, we will do our kind of festival survival guide.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll just kind of run down real quick for those of you, maybe you're going to Sonic Temple. We'd love to see you there, interact with you. But we'll kind of tell you the do's and don'ts so that you have an understanding the next time. You can clip that particular segment out and use it and refer back to it when you're planning your festival experience. Because we know, we know what to do and to have the best experience you can possibly have. Yeah. So we've done many. So yeah, you can fall on that, and we will give you the 411 on what's up with that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're trying to keep these shows, in that kind of 35-minute range. So a little bit over that, but the bottom line is that's it for now. We do these shows every 2 weeks, but again, follow the channels, because we're going to be putting reels up. We'll have clips of the episode, and we'll have reels of the music that we talked about in this particular episode. So we'll be putting those up. So make sure you check that out on Instagram, Facebook, and of course on YouTube as far as shorts go. So always loading up content so that you guys can just have a little mental break in your day. So follow us, enjoy it. TD, anything else, brother man?
That's it, man. Can't wait to see you live in person at Sonic Temple with our buddy Roy Z. And that's it. It's going to be fun, man.
It's coming up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching Agents of Rage, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care.